Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to this sunny spring podcast and Facebook Live, where we're going through the property entrepreneur values. So on the last one last week, I shared the 3 values that we have on property entrepreneur. There's only really 3 focus things we want for our clients and we want you to experience in your day, your week, your life and your relationships. And the first is wealth, which we talked last week about the financial fortress and understanding how to actually get wealthy and how trying to be rich is actually stopping you from creating long-term wealth. And if you missed that, tune into last week's podcast and we talk about it on there. The second, which I'm going to talk about today, is health, is the importance of health in your life. And this is mental, this is physical, it's even spiritual when you get up to the higher levels. And we're going to talk today about how you need to get a handle on that and how, if you don't, or in fact, how the world is actually conspiring against you and you don't stand a chance and everything's stacked against your favour. And then the third is life by design. So life by design is all about whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, is that you go out and do it. Because if you don't live a life by design, you're going to live a life by comparison. And you're going to follow the highlight reel of social media, the celebrity world of Instagram, and you're going to live your life constantly frustrated, disappointed, and probably have an impact on your personal, mental, and a spiritual well-being in that capacity. Today we're going to look at health, and this is ironically something that people don't normally address until later in their wealth creation journeys. Normally people spend their lives working their backside off, burn themselves to a crisp, finally get money, and by the time they've got all the money, they've actually run out of time, or in fact they've run out of a body healthy enough to enjoy it. Not only that, the sad thing is we live in a generation and period in time where everything is conspiring against you. Literally, if you were to read the business, if I said to you the government or society have created a business plan and their only objective is to slow you down. They don't want you to be moving fast. They don't want you to be progressing. They don't want you to be feeling good. They don't want you to be creative. They don't want you to be innovative. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to have control over your mind, body, soul and well-being in your life. The business plan would look exactly how society looks today. You go to the supermarket and I'm pretty sure 70% of food in the supermarket is probably not actually fit for human consumption. You go in there and there's aisles and aisles of luminous purple packaging and refined sugars and saturated fats and battered everything, frozen things, beige foods, all of this stuff that's readily available. You literally have to look for the alternative. Everything else is in your face and it's completely affordable. You know, if you're looking for something quick, easy and cheap to eat, it would be 70% of the supermarket that is probably actually unedible. The world is conspiring against you and at every turn they're trying to slow you down. So what we want to do is look at how do we actually break that mould and how do we actually break out of that to enjoy a good level of mental, physical and spiritual awareness and life in our day-to-day lives, in our businesses and in our relationships. So on Property Entrepreneur, this is our second value. The first one is about getting wealthy. We want you to get wealthy, but we don't want it to be at the expense of your health. And so the second that we focus on simultaneously is health. And we want you to get to a point where you are performing on what we call your 𝗘𝗶𝗀 game. And what this means is you feel good, you look good, you're performing well, you're motivated, and everything is far more enjoyable and effortless. And I don't mean that in a sense of we're sitting around having our nails painted and we're eating grapes. I'm talking about your energy levels are naturally more effective. You don't have peaks and troughs in energy levels through the day. When you crack how to get on your 𝗘𝗶𝗀 game, you will genuinely, and I would highly recommend, speak to any property entrepreneurs who've done the program, speak to any of our Get Up and Give backers who've done a Get Up and Give Back campaign with us, and they'll tell you that when you are on your 𝗘𝗶𝗀 game and you follow the simple 4 steps to the health blueprint that we use on Property Entrepreneur, you will get out of bed and feel motivated in the morning. You will have energy once you've done your first few things of the day. You will be more motivated to go and do what you need to do. You will feel more good in your, you will feel better in your body. You will feel emotionally and mentally more positive, more driven. You'll feel really, really good. But as we've said, the world is conspiring against you, and unless you do these 4 things, you will be slower. You'll be in a state of sort of, you'll have the brakes on consistently. We want to release those. So the 4 steps that we use within the health blueprint of the Property Entrepreneur methodology. So the first is steps. It's not a coincidence. I go out and I do steps when I do these videos, because why not? It's sunny, it's enjoyable. I could sit and do it in the studio, but this is far more enjoyable and rewarding. So the first is steps. And what we'd encourage you to do is a minimum of 10,000 steps a day, up to, if you want to do a more sort of advanced level, up to about 15,000 as a baseline. If you think about your body as a car, unless you go out and actually pump fuel around it, you will spend your day in second, at best third gear. It'll be slow to get started, it'll feel like you're dragging, you're lacking motivation, because you're not pumping the fuel around the body. So the first thing is to get steps in, get them into your diary, do them on a daily basis. And what this does is it will get the fuel pumping around your body, it'll get your energy going. Tony Robbins says, where motion goes, energy flows. So this is the first thing of pumping up the, you've got a choice of what vehicle you drive around in this life. Those of you that follow RNT, who's our partner on Property Entrepreneur with Body Transformations, they talk about the physicals of the vehicle. You've got a choice what vehicle you drive around in. It can have flat tyres, it can have bits that are falling off, and it can be really noisy and poor performing. Or you can pump it up with big spoilers, big wheels, big exhaust system, and you can get this thing firing on all cylinders. So the first is steps. 10 to 15,000 steps a day. Get the fuel pumping around the body, get the energy levels up. And obviously you've got 2 options here. Do you leave until later in the day and enjoy maybe 3 or 4 hours at the end of the day where you've got the fuel pumping? Or do you get yourself up, get yourself hydrated, which we're going to talk about in a minute, step 2, and get them out nice and early. Now, on Property Entrepreneur, we talk about the champion's breakfast, and it's not always achievable. I don't do it every day. But if you can get 8,000 steps in before 8 a.m, that is a champion's breakfast. So this morning, I got up, I walked, I could have driven, I was in an Airbnb, because I'm staying in Nottingham at our head office for a couple of days, day and a half. And I thought, I can either drive to the Airbnb or I can walk. So last night I walked to the Airbnb, it took me about an hour and a half. Well, I went via a restaurant for dinner. And then this morning got up, put my walking boots on and headed to the office. So before I even got to the office, I'd done 45 to 60 minutes worth of steps. The blood was pumping, I didn't have my earphones in, it was an unplugged walk. So it was like motivating, it was nice to have a look round, got the blood going and just generally feel good. I would recommend getting your steps in nice and early. If you want to know what sort of 10 to 12,000 steps look like, if you were to book out 2 45-minute walks in your day, that plus all the little trimmings you do during the day will be about 12,000 steps. That's what we need to get the blood going, get your body going and actually make you feel good. If you're not, you're going to spend all day in second and third gear. If you get up at a reasonable time, bang some steps out in the morning, I guarantee you, you will almost immediately feel better. Obviously, it's got additional health benefits as well. The second is the best energy drink in the world. It's better than Red Bull, it's better than coffee, it's better than Monster, regardless of what flavour or how few carbohydrates and sugars it has in it. The best energy drink in the world is number 2. And if you introduce this to your life, I guarantee you, your energy levels will be more sustained, your brain will think a lot quicker, your appetite will be suppressed, your skin over a period of time will begin to get significantly better. You will feel less, you will flush out the toxins of your body very quickly. And this is water. Now, the amount of time and effort that we put, whether it's through Property Entrepreneur or through RNT Fitness, into getting people to drink water never ceases to amaze me. When you drink water all the time, 2 to 3 litres a day, you'll know what it feels like to be actually hydrated. And then you'll actually understand and feel the benefits and know what it feels like. Most people are not hydrated. A good way to gauge on if you're properly hydrated is the fluids that you pass should be sort of straw, like just off clear. They shouldn't be completely clear because then you're probably overworking some of your organs, but it should be You should be passing fluids reasonably frequently. It's flushing the toxins out of your body. And if you're only going a few times a day and it's a very deep colour, that's basically all of the poison that's been sitting in your body, waiting until there's enough to pass. You want to be constantly flushing that through your body. It'll rehydrate your body. It'll give your brain the hydration it needs to be able to operate effectively. It will suppress your appetite. Most of the time you're not actually hungry, you're thirsty. And the way you solve that is by eating food, which in turn, if you're not doing steps, not drinking water, the outcome is you put on weight. Very, very straightforward thing. What I'd recommend is 2 to 3 litres a day and get that poured out in the beginning of the day. I've got a big water, not a jug, what do you call it, like a flask thing. I know exactly how much water goes in there. I know how much of that I need to drink a day, and I just get on with it. And actually, it's part of getting up. Like when I get up, it's like, right, I've been asleep all night. I now need to hydrate my body, get it ready to go, then go for my steps. And then I get up quite early anyway, but before 7, 8 o'clock, I've already done 6, 7, 8, 10,000 steps, and I've drunk 1 litre, 2 litres of water. I'm then ready to start the day. I'm feeling good, I'm energetic, I'm optimistic, I'm feeling positive. The blood's moving around my body. So then the second one is water, is make sure you're drinking enough water, hydrate the body, and just start to see the benefits. You'll see this almost immediately. And again, start drinking it early. And when you start hitting the water, probably stop drinking it about 6, 7 at night. If you start hitting it early, or if you start stepping up your hydration pretty quickly, because otherwise you'll end up visiting the ladies and gents in the middle of the night, and that won't be conducive to a 𝗘𝗶𝗀𝗶𝘀 game. So step 2 is water. 2 to 3 litres of water a day, piece of cake. Start early. Steps and water, best energy drink and exercise you can have in the world. The third is calories. So the third is calories, and what we want to do is just understand basic calories. So the world is conspiring against you. You have no idea what you're eating. You're eating things like Special K, pitched healthy bars. You're eating salmon. You're eating avocado. And there's this. Nobody really has a true understanding of what calories are in food, myself included. I've done body transformations. I'm constantly managing my weight, training. I've been doing personal training. I've had a nutritionist for a few years, and I still can't guess calories effectively. It's one of the easiest mistakes to make when you're managing weight or cutting weight. So the third is calories, and it's just a basic understanding of how many calories are you eating on a daily basis, because you burn X amount of calories, and you'll know what that is, because if you track your steps on Fitbit, you work out how much you weigh, your age, your height, and your sex, you'll reasonably quickly get a rough understanding of how many calories you can eat for maintenance. And then depending on where you are, if you're doing any cycle or you're doing any sort of cut, you'll know what sort of deficit you need to go, or you can then pitch a deficit against what you're eating and drinking. So the third is calories. It's basically do a Google search, have a look on your Fitbit, check a few places, because everyone's calculations are loosely different, based on your age, weight, sex, activity levels, steps on a daily basis. What is your average calorie burn on a daily basis? And then the aim again with this is, again, success and failure are very predictable. There's a blueprint for everything. There's no new problems. If you're putting on weight, you're burning more calories, you're eating more calories than you burn. If you're losing weight, you're burning more calories than you eat. Both of those are very trackable, they're very predictable, and you need to be able to have that as a minimum in your life, is to understand on a basic count how many calories you burn with your steps, and then just eat in line with that. A tip there would be MyFitnessPal. So use MyFitnessPal as an app to track your food on a daily basis. If you get MyFitnessPal Premium, you can actually scan the food. So it takes 2 seconds. You can scan the food. It'll tell you exactly how many calories are in it, and then it'll track it for you on a daily basis. Scan 3 meals a day, what you're eating, and then that will tell you. A few top tips on calories is when you start to get a good understanding, because you won't appreciate that little things like an egg, I think don't quote me on this, but I think an egg has like 70 or 80 calories, whereas if you take the yolk out, it's more like 17 or 20. There's little things you can do in your diet to really manage it. You start to understand what calories are going in and versus calories out. and you'll have a much better control over your weight management, your energy levels, and yeah, basic well-being. A few tips on that would be just find the staple foods that you like eating. In fact, this will go on to step 4, which is nutrition, is find things you like eating that make you feel good and just eat more of those. So I'll reasonably, my lunch is pretty much the same every day, my breakfast is pretty much the same every day, because I like it, it tastes good, I know how many calories are in it, I know the nutritional benefit, and it just removes the guesswork. And then for dinner, my meal will reasonably consistently, I'm not a monk, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm not cutting weight, I'm not like saying that I weigh my food every single meal, but when I know portion control and I know how to eat, it allows me to manage my weight more effectively. The 4th one on that, to finish off, so remember, health is wealth. You don't want to be rich and the oldest man or the richest man or woman in the graveyard. Ironically, the more you can invest in your health, the higher your performance will be. It's the first thing to go when you run out of time, but it's also the biggest thing that will slow you down. We want to flip the switch on that by doing, first is steps, second is water, third is calories, and the 4th, calories, and if you want to go more advanced, macros, and then the 4th is nutrition. The world is conspiring against you. You don't stand a chance going to a service station and getting lunch today. It is incredibly hard. I was going to say almost impossible, but I would say unless I spend a reasonable amount of time on the road and travelling, and unless you really know what you're looking for, or you find yourself in the Marks and Spencers in the services where they've got them now in the BPs, which work quite well, most places it is almost impossible to get good food on the run. Like, you want to understand what is good nutrition, and it's not because it says diet, that's not good nutrition. Because it says healthy snack bar, that's not nutrition. Because it's a grenade bar, that's not good nutrition. That's a way to hit your macros. Good nutrition is just basically understanding we've grown from we've built and developed as a civilization from what's grown on the planet naturally, using the sun, the water, the ground and the plants in the main. And then for those of you that eat meat, I eat meat, the animals that graze on them. However we ended up here, from whatever you believe, it wasn't on all of the multicoloured Monster Munches, chocolate bars, snack pots, all of these things, that wraps from the service station, crisps, pre-packaged sandwiches. That wasn't what got us here. They're all things that have been manufactured by a multi-billion-pound food industry. Good solid nutrition is starting to have an understanding of what is actually in the food you're eating. And this is one of the things we teach on Property Entrepreneur, is how do you understand what is good and what is bad, essentially. And a few things here will just be about just understanding general nutrition. Just think logically. If it's been deep fat fried, even though it's chicken or it's fish, it's probably not hugely nutritious to have that level of basically fat in your meal. If it's grown from the ground and it's straight from source and it's in most cases not processed, that in the main is probably quite good for you. So lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of protein sources, beans. If you want to have some processed things like perhaps breads, it's being strategic and understanding which of them make you feel good. I don't tend to eat normal bread, like normal white or brown bread anymore, but I do still eat sourdough because I just think it's amazing. I think it's very tasty, it fills me up, and I digest it well, and it's well within my macros. Eggs, lean meats like turkeys, those of you that want protein alternatives, obviously there's natural protein alternatives or there's highly processed protein alternatives, and there'll be pros and cons or there'll be considerations around all of those. Vegetables, if you're going to eat carbohydrate, or you want some carbohydrates, things like rices, sweet potatoes, anything that's green in the salad drawer, the veg drawer, so broccolis, green beans, edamames, salads, lettuces, cabbages, anything that's sort of where you can get high value for low volume. High value in nutrition, high volume in mass. So ideally you want to have like a low calorie density. A high calorie density would be like a chocolate bar, where you might get 400 calories for a couple of mouthfuls of chocolate, whereas if you do yourself a ginormous plate of lean protein or lean meats, coupled with a load of broccoli, a load of green veg, some salad, maybe some white rice, well, white or brown rice, depends. Like I tend to eat white rice because I find it easier on my digestion, and just really bulk those up to make the most of it. These things you're hearing me say must sound like complete. Nothing on Property Entrepreneur is rocket science. Every single workshop, every single blueprint, every single step of the seasons we use through the year, our property entrepreneurs get these blueprints that are so straightforward to use. The challenge is the world is conspiring against you. They're not out there and readily available, and that actually to execute them is the challenge. So if you would not put yourself on your AAA game, by AAA game I mean you get up at a good time each day, you exercise, you hydrate, and you're feeling good, you're feeling motivated, you're feeling inspired, you want to go and enjoy a good day, you're naturally buzzing about the day ahead. You're active, you're maintaining a good body weight, your motivation and energy levels are both high but also consistent, rather than spikes during the day where perhaps you're nice and lean in the morning, you have a big lunch and it knocks you out, you're yawning in the afternoon, you're banging some coffees, you're hitting the Red Bulls and the monster drinks. You know, these are all things that are very rarely required. In most cases it's a deficit of nutrition rather than anything else. So hopefully that's given you some insight. The second value that we focus on Property Entrepreneur is health. There's no point being rich and the richest man or woman in the graveyard. We want to make sure you're healthy enough to enjoy it in the short term, and then healthy enough to make the most of it in the medium and the long term. So that's our second value. If you're not already doing those things, highly recommend putting them in place today. 10 to 12,000 steps, 2 to 3 litres of water, finding out what your calories are, and then at least maintaining a good calorie count. And if you want to go more advanced with it, start to understand macros, and then just understand that you could stay within your calories by eating Mars bars every day. Actually, we want to be making the most of that opportunity to eat food and have good value, good high volume nutrition. It tastes good, it looks good, it fills you up, you look forward to eating it. And these things together will get you on your AAA game. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're not already in the Property Entrepreneurs community on Facebook, there's over 6,000 of us in there now. Feel free to join us in there. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed to the podcast and you listen to it, or you're listening to this on Facebook Live, go to the official Property Entrepreneur podcast on Apple Podcasts. So hit subscribe on there. There's about 25 odd episodes on there already. You can play a bit of catch up. Otherwise, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. And if you're not already signed up to one of our 3-day events coming this spring and summer, feel free to join us there, and we'll take you through the whole year's blueprint, start to finish. Strategy, systems, finance, recruitment, and marketing and sales. When you put all of that together, throw in some execution, get yourself on your AAA game, anything in life is achievable with a bit of execution. So success and failure are very predictable. I wish you all the best for the beautiful day ahead. Get some steps, drink some water, and have something tasty to eat. I'm going back for my late breakfast now. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the next one.